Hey guys, I bet you can't guess what we're talking about this week. Just kidding, you guys can guess. We're talking about plants this week. This right here is my friend Pat. Pat is a plant and he is going to be helping me teach you guys all about plants. As you can tell, I've been alone too long. I'm getting a little kooky, but Pat is my friend and he's going to help me teach you guys about plants. Also, before we get started, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite type of plant. I bet you can't guess. Does my shirt give you any hints? My favorite type of plant is a pineapple plant. There's no real shock there. But we're going to be learning about plants. We're going to be talking about what plants are, what are the different parts of plants, what help plants survive, how plants help us. We're also going to be learning about how plants make more plants and what the life cycle of plants are and how plants make their own food so that they can survive. Super duper cool. Let's go ahead and get started with the question of what is a plant? A plant is a living thing that grows in the earth and has a stem, leaves, and roots. That's right, you heard that right. Plants are alive. They are living things. Rocks, they're not living, but plants, they are. So Pat right here, he's alive. So you can say hi to him. Hello. Just kidding, he can't talk. He's a plant. You guys are crazy. All right, so we are learning about how plants have stems, leaves, and roots. We are also going to talk about how do plants help people. Plants give us food. Remember we talked about how a pineapple plant gives us pineapples, and praise Jesus for that. But if you think about it, you eat plants all the time. Anytime you're eating vegetables, anytime you're eating a salad, you're eating corn or potatoes, those all come from plants. Anytime you're eating fruit, that comes from a plant. Also, we have to say thank you to plants because plants are what animals eat. So if you're eating a nice juicy burger, that cow that made the burger, he probably ate some plants. So you can say thank you to plants for you surviving because without it, we wouldn't have any food. Plants also give us shelter. A lot of times houses are made with wood in them. If you think that your house is made of wood, then you can say thank you to a plant for that because plants, or trees, more specifically, make wood. So this little log cabin, it is shelter, which we need to survive as humans, and it is completely made out of plants, that wood. And we also can say thank you to plants because they give us oxygen. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Oxygen is what we need to breathe, and plants give that off. So without plants, we wouldn't have the oxygen, the air that we need to breathe. So thanks, Pat, for that. Thanks for helping me breathe. I'm still talking to plants, aren't I? Okay, good. We're off to a good start. All right, so let's talk about what the parts of a plant are. Plants can have flowers, leaves, stems, and roots. Now, Pat over here, he has 3 of those things. He has leaves, stems, and roots, but he does not have flowers. Not all plants have flowers, but we do know that they at least have the leaves, stems, and roots. So let's talk about what those different parts are. What does the flower do? So flower is going to be that flowering part at the top. You guys all know what a flower is. Flowers help the plants reproduce, which in other words means make more plants. So the flowers are where the seeds and the fruit are going to be made. Like it says here, they're the part of the plants that make the seeds. And a lot of times seeds come from inside of fruit. So if it's a plant that makes fruit, the seeds are going to be inside of that. And that all starts with a flower. They also create a yellow powder called pollen. If you guys have allergies, you probably are not fans of pollen, that yellow dusty stuff that kind of looks like when you eat a bag of Cheetos and don't clean your hands yet. Yeah, that's pollen. And that pollen can be spread to begin the process of pollination. And pollination is what helps make more flowers and more plants. We're going to be talking about that in a couple days. What do the leaves do? So Pat over here, he has lots of little leaves, and the leaves make the food for the plant. The leaves collect sunlight, so they go out and the leaves will sunbathe, and they collect that sunlight that the plants need to survive and start the process of photosynthesis. Now, we're going to talk about photosynthesis more this week, but basically what that is the plants take in the sunlight they need, and they use that to make food. And leaves will actually do something super cool where they will grow and point themselves toward the sun so that they can get as much sunlight as possible. If you can see, Pat has really long pieces on this side. That's because this is the side of Pat that was pointing toward the window. So he grew longer there so that he could reach closer and closer to the sun. Super duper cool. Very smart move, Pat. And what does the stem do? Stems hold up a plant so that the leaves can get sunlight. So this right here, this is part of Pat's stem. So if you can see, this part's much thicker over here. He has a stem that's holding him up, and that's what's going to help him go closer to the sun. Think of kind of like a flagpole. The stem is going to hold up the flag, or the leaves in this case. The stem carries water and nutrients from the roots to the other parts of the plant. So he is kind of like a messenger, or like a straw that sucks up those nutrients and brings them from the roots to the rest of the plant, and also holds them up straight. And stems can be thick and easy to bend. So this is a very thin and easy to bend stem, but they can also be woody and solid like a tree trunk like you see here. Those are also types of stems. And finally, what do roots do? Roots hold plants in the soil and keep them from being blown or washed away. So the roots are there holding down the fort, they're hanging on into the soil, and they're saying, we're not going anywhere. If the wind blows and the water runs, if the rain is coming hard, those roots are going to keep the plant from being washed away. If you've ever pulled a plant or pulled some grass out of the ground and you see those stringy things on the bottom, those are roots. And actually, a carrot is a root. The top of the carrot grows out from the ground, but the bottom of the carrot, that orange part, is actually all root. So when you eat a carrot, you're eating a root. Roots collect water and nutrients from the soil, so they are spread out into the soil, and they're collecting the nutrients that the humus has from those decomposed plants. Remember when we talked about soil? They are collecting those nutrients and using it to go push up the stem to help the plant grow and get what it needs to make food and survive. All right, so those are the parts of a plant. We've got roots in the bottom, a stem, we have leaves reaching toward the sunlight, and we have beautiful flowers that are helping the plant to make more plants. All right, tomorrow we're going to start to talk about the plant's life cycle and what a plant needs to survive. All right, see you guys tomorrow.